I am sincerely and candidly thankful to all of you who have assembled in this hall. To many of you, it's a challenge to come and attend our events, our program. It's a choice. It's a challenge, and the more so we are proud to have you here. Let me thank all of you and those who make this school, who allow it to exist and to go on. And of course, my heartfelt thanks go to the sponsors, the donors, primarily those in Nordic Europe, in the United States, and let me specifically thank the foundation of Konrad Adenauer, whose partnership and friendship we have cherished for a long time and many, many years. Our urge to internationalize this school has in part been based in the repressive policies whereby foreign aid was considered and is considered to be subversive in many states, including my own. This here, at this forum and elsewhere, we are responsible for the words that we utter, for anything that we say, and irrespective of what we talk about, Nepal, Cambodia, or Europe, we do bear the responsibility for the world. Let me also say that this annual event, which has, I think, happily been entitled "In Search of Lost Universalism" several years ago, and it is great that we can conduct this event today, as 15 and 20 and 25 years ago, Germany is a special country, a country that has had a terrible historical experience in the past century and has gathered the hope, the responsibility, and the courage to assume the responsibility for the past and to become a modern state. A state which is indeed one of the pillars of the democratic international community. We cannot say what future awaits Germany or all of our states. However, it is certain that there's still a lot of energy, common sense, and indeed understanding of what is right and what is wrong, which permits me to express a hope that Germany will continue to stand strong in the face of populism, in the face of dangers, and indeed will stay to be a country which helps us to feel that the European values, the universal values, do exist in this world. The world is indeed changing. It is going through somewhat sometimes we feel that it goes through dire straits, and international institutions and organizations of the post-World War II order were created indeed with one creed, that creed being never again. But of course, new generations are coming to live on the face of the earth, and some of these young people and generations to come do not know the terrible experience of the World War. And what is important is for the ideas of these universal values to survive in this new world through the international organizations and NGOs. We have to understand that excessive bureaucracy is not a solution. And it is clear that reforming and the need for actively and dynamically responding to the contemporary world is important. This is not being said as a critique of these international organizations, but as an attempt to emphasize the message, which I think allows the school to go on. The school is an attempt to create conditions for free thinking, for public discourse. We are not providing content, so to speak. What we seek to do is primarily create conditions for people to be comfortable and at ease developing their intellectual potential. We understand in this school that free thought is equivalent to a major effort. And it is not easy to enter this state of free thought. But whenever we can, whenever we feel we can do it, there comes some link which is created, something that permits us to be responsible for the world. At the moment when it seems to me that I understand the world, as a philosopher said, I carry this world in myself, and the world is contained within myself. There is no specific mechanism to develop this understanding. But there's a special property that all of us share as humans, is that whenever we think about ourselves and whenever we attempt and seek to understand ourselves, we develop our self-perception, self-awareness. We think of justice and injustice. We know about life, and we will all know death. We know about love or friendship. The abstract notions which may not exist physically, but which persist in our minds and in our hearts. At the school, we cannot help anybody to have these, or we cannot indeed impart any new knowledge. The only thing that we can do is to allow ourselves to develop our potential. This additional work needs to be performed, because this is how we crystallize the humanity in us. There's a gap. Merab Mamardashvili said these words. There is a gap between the practical knowledge which is used in science and what we know and cannot impart to others. And what we cannot impart to others is our humanitarian part, our humane and human part. Only in this way can we exist as social beings. We associate in ourselves some events and acts with the notion of the public good, and we try to measure as to how our personal sense of justice, of kindness, and of the good is related to the civic thought, the civic activity, and maybe the civic society. I'm sure that the civic society, civil society, cannot be measured with instruments of sociology, because it is, in a way, a personal act. It is an attempt to stand upright in the world, an effort that everybody makes for herself. This is something that may never come and happen to you in a programmed way. This is indeed what we feel as, and this is what we have to perceive ourselves, to measure ourselves against the world.
In my country, in the Russian Federation, regrettably, we have not moved beyond where we were in the 1990s, where we saw the general moral sentence delivered onto the Soviet rule. We never built the rule of law institutions. Instead, we created capitalism of the state oligarchical type, and now we live within. I don't know where the way out of this is, and I have no recipe I would like to share with you, and I suppose few people can share their recipes, but as personally I strongly believe in ideas that I took over from my teachers who I met in my life, and again I would like to repeat very many things within us. And again I'd like to finish my presentation with the words by Mirab Mamardashvili. Man is an effort in time. It's hard work by his soul and freedom. And the very last words I'd like to utter in this address, this way or other. During this week, everyone has been congratulating me on my birthday. I would like to thank everyone for their congratulations. Secondly, I'd like to say it is very difficult to accept this fantastic figure and to come to terms with this, because now you have to live not just for the sake of life. Now you have to live under the conditions of a postponed sentence. But nevertheless, you need to carry on living. And in any way I can, I'd like to be instrumental and take part in the process that is called mindfulness, or coming to be aware, or realizing what is universal in a human and humanitarian aspect. And I would like to thank you all, the school, our experts, our board, and first and foremost, my unique team that works for the school. I do not wish to give their names at this time and put it all from the in my official capacity. What I want to say is that they are like my family. They are the ones that are extending these years of life which we have lived so happily through, for me and Yura. Thank you so much.